Have you ever stopped to wonder why, no matter how much love, care, and respect you show to some people, they never seem to give it back? It's as if you're invisible, or worse, they hurt you, leaving you questioning your own worth. Giving your love and care to those who don't value it is like pouring water into a cracked pot. No matter how much you give, it never fills up, leaving you drained and questioning if the effort was ever worth it. In these moments, doubt creeps in, spinning you into a whirlwind of negative emotions. You ask yourself, did I do something wrong? Am I not good enough? Imagine a tree standing tall in a forest, its branches reaching out wide, offering shade, fruit, and shelter to every creature that crosses its path. But here's the twist. While some animals cherish its shade and nestle in its branches, others treat it carelessly. They rip off its leaves, scratch its bark, and take whatever they want without a second thought. Ever wondered why the tree doesn't bend or break in the face of this indifference? Why doesn't it stop giving? Here's the secret. The tree knows its strength comes from within, from the roots buried deep in the earth, not from the fleeting creatures that pass by. No matter how it's treated, the tree stands firm, unshaken by those who fail to see its worth. Now imagine if we could be like that tree. How freeing would it be to live without needing others to validate our value, to let our strength and peace come from within, unaffected by those who don't truly value us. Curious to know how? But what if I told you, it's not about you at all? Stoic philosophy isn't just about resilience. It's a guiding light that helps you recognize your true value. It teaches you to guard against the careless actions of others, freeing you from the weight of their judgments. In this video, we'll explore 5 behaviors of those who don't value you. Let's take a closer look. Number 1. Disrespect. Disrespect. It's a behavior we encounter all too often, and yet, despite its frequency, it has an extraordinary power to shake us to our core. But why? Why can even the smallest act of disrespect make us feel so diminished, so unseen? When someone disrespects you, it's more than just rude behavior. It's a silent message, whispering, "You don't matter to me." That's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? But this is where Stoic philosophy offers a lifeline. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In other words, the disrespect of others doesn't truly have the power to hurt you unless you allow it to. What really matters isn't the actions or opinions of others, but how you perceive and respond to those actions. Imagine this. You have a friend whom you always treat with kindness and respect, yet every time you speak, they interrupt, dismiss your ideas, or even look down on what you say. It stings, doesn't it? But here's the real question. Do you need this person's approval to feel valuable? According to Stoicism, the answer is no. Your worth is not in their hands, it's in your own. As the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that for a moment. The disrespect of others is an external event, something that doesn't belong to you. It belongs to them, to their lack of understanding, to their own shortcomings. Their inability to see your worth only reveals their failure to respect others, not your value as a person. Let's take a profound example from history: Jesus Christ. Despite being mocked, reviled, and ultimately crucified, he never let the hatred and disrespect of his enemies touch his soul. Instead, he prayed for them, saying, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." This act of mercy wasn't just compassion, it was an incredible display of inner strength that transcends any insult or act of disrespect. Can we aspire to the same strength? Stoicism teaches us something similar. Disrespect doesn't reflect who you are. It reflects the weakness of those who fail to respect you. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely put it, "No man is good by chance, virtue must be learned." Those who disrespect you haven't yet learned the virtues of respect and humility. But here's the liberating truth. It's not your responsibility to change them. Your responsibility is to yourself, to guard your inner peace. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Is it the approval and respect of others, or is it maintaining my own self-respect and inner tranquility? If you choose the latter, then the disrespect of others will no longer have the power to affect you deeply. It becomes background noise, not a personal attack. Here's something even more powerful. You don't have to endure relationships that drain your energy. Seek out like-minded individuals, people who value and respect you. Stoicism doesn't teach us to live in isolation. Instead, it encourages us to build meaningful connections with those who deserve our time and affection. Surround yourself with a community of mutual respect where your soul can thrive. And remember, true respect begins with you. If you respect yourself, others' attempts to disrespect you will fall flat. As Epictetus said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." When you deeply understand your own value, you won't need anyone else's respect to feel worthy. At that point, disrespect becomes nothing more than a fleeting shadow, unable to touch the core of who you are. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Join the conversation in the comments below. Have you ever experienced disrespect? Number 2. Ghosting. Have you ever experienced the sudden disappearance of someone you cared deeply about? No warning, no explanation, just silence. One moment, they're there, and the next, it feels like they've vanished into thin air. The world around you grows darker, and you're left standing alone, wondering, why was I abandoned? This painful experience, now known as ghosting, is more than just emotional. It's deeply unsettling. And when someone suddenly vanishes from your life, your first instinct might be to blame yourself. Was it something I did? Was I not enough? But here's the truth. Your value does not decrease just because someone decided to leave without a word. Stoic philosophy gives us a powerful way to confront this pain. Imagine facing the hurt, but instead of letting it consume you, you rise above it. In the mind of a Stoic, someone's disappearance doesn't define your worth. It's a reflection of their choice, not a reflection of you. Sometimes, the absence of a person is the clearest sign that they don't belong in your life anymore. What if their departure is actually a blessing in disguise? Have you ever thought that perhaps this sudden disappearance is a way for God or the universe to guide you away from relationships that are no longer serving your growth? When Jesus said, "Do not let your hearts be troubled, believe in God," he reminded us to keep our faith strong, even in our most painful moments. Trust that there's a bigger plan for your life, one that goes beyond the hurt of someone walking away. In today's world, disappearing has become easier than ever. With just a click, someone can block your number, unfollow you on social media, and it's as if they never existed. But here's the real question. Do they truly disappear from your mind? Or does the pain of their absence haunt you long after they've left? Stoicism teaches us something crucial. No one has control over your emotions except you. Yes, someone's sudden absence may hurt, but how you respond to that pain is entirely up to you. Ask yourself, is this person's disappearance worth my suffering? The Stoic answer is no. They may be gone, but you still have the power to fill that void with something much more meaningful: peace. Look around, and you'll see countless examples of ghosting. Maybe you've experienced it in a romantic relationship where someone you once loved suddenly stopped communicating. Or perhaps it happened with a close friend who you thought would always be there. The void left behind feels heavy, but remember, every void can be filled, and you get to choose what fills it. Will it be more pain and self-doubt, or will it be the peace that comes with acceptance? Take the story of Sarah, for example. She was in a deep relationship with a man she believed would be her life partner. They shared beautiful memories and made grand plans for the future. And then, one day, he was gone. No explanation. Sarah was devastated. She spiraled into self-blame, wondering what she did wrong. But over time, she embraced Stoic philosophy. She learned that his departure wasn't about her, it was his choice, and it didn't diminish her worth. Instead of letting the pain control her, Sarah chose to fill her life with meaning, peace, and self-love. Much like the teachings of Jesus, Stoic philosophy reminds us, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. Even when someone leaves without explanation, choose to forgive them. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness isn't about accepting their actions. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of their absence. So, the next time you're faced with ghosting, remember, it doesn't define your worth. Your value comes not from how others treat you, but from how you treat yourself. Let the teachings of Stoicism and Jesus guide you through this pain, helping you find strength in even the most challenging times. And finally, believe this: what's meant for you will always find its way to you, and what isn't, let it go, in peace. Now it's your turn. Are you ready to let go of relationships that no longer deserve your time? Are you ready to reclaim your peace and happiness from within? Share your story in the comments. We're here to listen, and we're on this journey together. Number 3, the need to be the focus of attention. Have you ever noticed the constant craving some people have to be in the spotlight, always seeking the approval and recognition of others? It might seem harmless at first, but from a Stoic perspective, this need to always be the center of attention reveals something deeper, a lack of inner control. The Stoic mindset is built on the foundation of governing yourself, staying calm, and not letting external factors shake your inner peace. Think about it. What truly matters? Fleeting moments of recognition or lasting tranquility? Stoics believe that real value doesn't come from the praise of others, but from a deep understanding of oneself and the ability to live according to your own principles. In the world of the Stoic, inner calm and peace far outweigh the noise of external admiration. Ask yourself, do the people who constantly seek the spotlight ever seem genuinely happy? Or are they running an endless race to fill a void that never seems satisfied? Recognition from others is often like a drug. It gives you a temporary high, but when it fades, you're left craving more. There's a powerful saying that goes, "Fame, if it comes, let it come, but never seek it." This reminds us that living a life of virtue and integrity is what truly matters, and if recognition comes, it will come naturally. But the key is not to let that desire for attention control your life. In today's world of social media, this need for attention has only grown. We see countless people posting carefully curated snapshots of their perfect lives, hoping for likes, comments, and validation. But ask yourself, is that really happiness? Or is it just a temporary comfort for deeper insecurities? Every time we post, are we truly sharing our joy, or are we just seeking approval? Think of celebrities and influencers with millions of followers, adored by so many. Yet, behind the scenes, many feel lonely and empty, even after achieving what seems like the ultimate success. Demi Lovato, a famous singer, has openly shared that despite her fame, she often felt alone and dissatisfied. This speaks to a universal truth. No amount of attention can fill the emptiness within. The pursuit of attention, whether on social media or in real life, is never enough. and it never brings lasting fulfillment. Contrast this with the example of Jesus. He didn't seek fame or demand admiration. He lived a life of service, acting out of love, not for personal glory. In the Bible, Jesus says, "Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant." This powerful teaching reminds us that true value doesn't come from standing in the spotlight, but from humility and serving others. It's in this humility that true greatness and inner peace are found, something that no amount of external attention can provide. Stoic philosophy echoes this idea. The constant need to be the center of attention isn't just a sign of insecurity. It's a manifestation of a lack of control over your inner self. True peace comes from within, not from validation by others. When you learn to govern your own mind and actions, you free yourself from the chains of seeking approval. This inner peace, this self-contentment, is a freedom that no one can take from you. In everyday life, we see this play out, especially at work. There are always those colleagues who try to impress the boss, sometimes by taking credit for others' work or tearing down their peers. But what happens when they don't get the attention they crave? They feel disappointed and abandoned, which can even lead to the breakdown of relationships. But those who are truly successful are the ones who act with integrity, who don't need to show off, and who share success with others. They don't need the spotlight to feel fulfilled. Stoic philosophy also reminds us that when one door closes, another opens. But if we're too focused on seeking attention, we might miss out on the opportunities that truly bring joy and meaning to our lives. Constantly craving validation from others can blind us to our own value. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I living for the approval of others, or am I living for my own inner peace and happiness? Live simply, without showmanship, without needing the applause of others. True value lies not in what others think of us, but in how we live with integrity, gratitude, and humility. Those who live with these qualities find happiness not in the spotlight, but in the peace they've cultivated within themselves. The teachings of both Jesus and Stoic philosophy point us in the same direction, toward inner peace, not the fleeting light of attention. So remember, you don't need to be the center of attention to feel valuable. When you live with integrity, gratitude, and humility, you will find deep and lasting peace within your soul. As the Stoics and Jesus have shown us, it's not external praise that brings happiness, but the quiet confidence of living true to yourself. Are you ready to let go of the need for attention and embrace the peace that comes from within? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. We'd love to hear your story and walk this journey together. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Number 4. Constant criticism. One of the most painful behaviors we can encounter from others is constant criticism. When someone in your life constantly picks at your flaws, judges your every action, or belittles your efforts, it can deeply wound your self-esteem. Criticism, when done constructively, can help us grow. But when it becomes a tool for others to elevate themselves by tearing us down, it reflects more about them than it does about us. From a Stoic perspective, criticism is not something to fear or avoid, but something to face with a steady heart. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When someone criticizes you unfairly, Stoicism teaches us to remember that their words are outside our control. The only thing within our control is how we respond to those words. Ask yourself, is this criticism truly about me, or is it a reflection of the other person's own struggles and insecurities? Often, those who constantly criticize others are struggling with their own issues, feeling inadequate, threatened, or unsatisfied with themselves. In such cases, their criticism is more a projection of their inner turmoil than a true reflection of your worth. There's a famous story of a monk who was once unfairly criticized by his peers. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, the monk responded with calm, acknowledging the criticism without letting it disturb his inner peace. He knew that whether the criticism was fair or not, he had the power to control his own emotions and response. This is a valuable lesson that Stoicism offers us, that self-control in the face of negativity is a sign of true strength. In moments of relentless criticism, remember the example of Jesus, who was constantly judged and ridiculed by those around him, especially by the religious leaders of his time. Yet, he did not let their harsh words shake his mission. Jesus taught us to turn the other cheek, to respond with forgiveness and compassion, rather than letting others' negativity define us. This doesn't mean accepting injustice, but rather finding peace in the knowledge that their words cannot touch our inner value. Now, let's apply this to real life. Imagine working in an environment where a colleague constantly criticizes your every move. It might feel demoralizing, especially if you've put in your best effort. But pause and ask yourself, does this criticism define my worth? The Stoic answer is no. Your worth is defined by your virtues, by your resilience and dedication, not by the fleeting opinions of others. You can choose whether to let that negativity impact you or to rise above it, remaining confident in your own values and principles. Take the story of Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential and successful women in the world. Early in her career, she faced constant criticism, from being told she wasn't fit for television to being rejected for her appearance and style. But Oprah didn't let that criticism break her. She used it as motivation to stay true to herself and to build her own empire. Stoic philosophy teaches us this very lesson, that we must not let others' opinions and criticisms diminish our self-worth. Instead, we should stay grounded in our values and purpose. In times of constant criticism, ask yourself, is this critique helping me grow, or is it an attempt to break me? If it is the latter, recognize it for what it is, a reflection of the other person's own insecurities. As Jesus and the Stoics teach, you are not defined by what others say about you. You are defined by your character and how you respond to adversity. Number 5. Absent in times of need. Few things cut as deeply as realizing that those we trust the most are absent when we need them. In times of confusion, hardship, or sorrow, the presence of loved ones can provide comfort and strength. But when they are not there, we're left not only with our struggles, but also with the profound feelings of abandonment, loneliness, and even betrayal. Through the lens of Stoic philosophy, however, such absences become opportunities for growth. Epictetus, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, teaches us that the absence of others should not shake our spirit. True happiness and resilience, he says, must come from within, not from the fleeting presence or support of others. It's easy to feel unimportant when someone is absent during your time of need, as if their lack of support somehow reflects your worth. But pause and ask yourself, does my value truly depend on the presence of others? Stoicism reminds us that everything external is temporary and beyond our control. The only things we truly possess are our soul and intellect. The absence of others is not a measure of your worth. Rather, it is an opportunity to test your resilience and self-reliance. Take the story of Jesus during his most trying moment, the night of his arrest. All his disciples deserted him, including Peter, who had sworn to stand by his side no matter what. Yet Jesus, despite the immense physical and emotional pain he faced, continued his mission without blame or bitterness. Instead, he prayed for those who had abandoned him, demonstrating compassion and incredible self-mastery. This profound example shows us that when others leave, We must turn inward and rely on our own inner strength. When faced with the absence of others, Stoic philosophy teaches us that while support may vanish, our inner resilience and self-discipline cannot be taken away. Imagine you are facing a significant challenge at work or in your personal life. You turn to trusted friends for advice or support, only to find they disappear without a word. The feeling of betrayal is sharp, and self-doubt starts to creep in. But rather than sinking into disappointment, ask yourself, can I stand strong on my own? Can I solve this problem without relying on others? According to Stoic philosophy, the answer is always yes. We can find the strength within ourselves to confront any adversity. While we all need companionship and relationships, we must not rely entirely on others to define our value. Consider the life of Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple and one of the most iconic innovators of our time. In 1985, he was ousted by the very board of directors of the company he had founded, a company to which he had given everything. Jobs may have felt abandoned by those he trusted and betrayed by the very people he had helped. But rather than crumble under the weight of this absence, Jobs chose to forge a new path. He founded Next, invested in Pixar, and eventually returned to Apple, transforming it into one of the world's most valuable companies. In a 2005 speech at Stanford, Jobs reflected on these difficult times, saying, "Sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith." This quote resonates deeply with Stoic teachings. Even when those you trust abandon you, even when life's circumstances seem unbearably harsh, do not lose faith in yourself. So, when you encounter moments where those you need are absent, ask yourself, can I find strength within? Remember that your value does not depend on the presence of others. As Jesus said, "And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." Even when people abandon you, God remains by your side, guiding and supporting you. The absence of others is temporary, but your inner strength, once nurtured, will always be a steadfast anchor. Turn to Stoic philosophy and the teachings of Jesus to realize that no matter who is present or absent, you have the power to stand firm. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Join the conversation in the comments below